Hey girl, welcome back to the Her Best Self Pod. I'm Lindsay Nickel. I'm so freaking excited to be with you today. And today I'm talking directly to you. If these two things terrify you, number one, gaining weight, and number two, staying exactly where you are right now. Sis, if you have spent years, not in recovery, but in a disordered mind with disordered thoughts, creating disordered behaviors, and you are ready to do anything to break free from it, then today's episode is for you. But here's what's keeping you stuck. You're trying to have freedom while still being the person that is trapped in the disorder. I encourage you to listen in, friend. I'm going to be sharing a formula that is going to change everything for you. Let's do this. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you. Because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess, trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it. So you can start living your best life as your best self. Hey friend, welcome back to the show. I'm so happy to have you today. We're going to dive right in. Today I'm sharing the Be, Do, Have formula. You are going to want to write this down if you have never heard of it before. But if you are truly ready to break the chains of an eating disorder life, then you have to be brave enough to stop starving yourself for your old life. Most people have this backwards. They think when I have freedom, then I'll do recovery behaviors and then I'll be a recovered person. But that is not how our brains work, and it is not how transformation works. Stephen Covey first introduced the Be, Do, Have formula in a common book that maybe you've heard of. It is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The research from cognitive behavioral psychology and identity-based habit change shows this. You first must become the person that you want to be. Then you do what that person does, and you'll have what you want. You'll have what that person has. It's so wild to me that research actually proves this. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. And the most effective way to change it isn't to focus on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become in order to achieve it. In recovery terms, though, without getting too deep here, I want you to think about it like this. You must be the woman who is obsessed with freedom from an eating disorder. Like, you have to be the woman who's free from it. Then you have to do what she does daily. And then you have the life that you want, that you don't currently have right now. But don't just take my word for it. The research backing this up is incredible. Dr. James Clear's studies show that people who say, I am someone who nourishes my body, actually have 40% higher success rates than those who say, I just wish I could eat better. And Stanford's Dr. Aaliyah Crum found that when people adopted the identity of someone who takes care of their body, their physiology actually changed to match that identity when they did nothing different physically. Do you hear me? It's wild. And in eating disorder research specifically, because I wanted to give you a really good tangible example of what has been done research-wise here, Dr. Janet Treasure found that women who focused on being a recovered person, not just wanting to be recovered, not just wanting recovery, but being a recovered person, had significantly higher long-term success rates. You see, friend, your brain literally rewires to support the identity that you claim of your life. It's that simple. And when you start being the woman who trusts herself, when you start being the woman who keeps her promises, when you start being the woman who is respecting and nourishing her body, your brain, your neural pathways, they start supporting that identity with matching thoughts and behaviors. So if you've asked yourself the question of which my clients ask, and I've asked myself the same questions, why is it that I have all these thoughts? Why won't these thoughts go away? Have you tried thinking what a recovered person would be thinking? Your first thought is not necessarily your responsibility, okay? And there's science to back that up too. But I fully believe that your second thought, you have the power to reframe. I want you to be the woman who trusts her body completely. And in order to do that, you have to eat without negotiation. You have to rest without guilt. You have to take up space without apology. And what are you going to have in return? Body peace, mental clarity, and all the freedom your heart desires. So what this looks like in recovery is being the woman who values nourishment right now. Doing the hard thing. Yes, that might look like choosing a carb that you haven't had in years, or having a bite of the cake, or skipping the gym. Sis, in order to have the energy and the joy and the presence in your own life, if you want to be someone that isn't going to go to a birthday party or a wedding scared or confused or feeling out of place because people are staring at you, then who do you need to be? And what do you need to do right now? Think of it like an athlete. In order to be someone who's an Olympian, you have to start training and being that person and doing what they're doing now. These massive athletes in our society didn't get to where they were going because they haven't yet gotten there, right? They trained as if they had already accomplished the thing that they were wanting. And I know that can be a little tricky in our brain, but here's the scary part. You have to start being her before you're ready. That's what keeps us stuck ultimately. Before you see the results, before you see the gold medal, before it feels natural in your body, what are you doing right now? And who do you need to be right now in order to have what it is that you want? In my recovery, my disordered brain had me so confused about what I wanted. I had been living in isolation for so long, believing my own mind and lies for so long. And I thought that half-life was as good as it gets. Like I would rather be okay and miserable and okay and miserable and skinny and miserable and okay and miserable than any other way of living. So when I got serious about taking my life back and getting out of that state, I did an exercise that truly helped get me out of my own mind. You can do this on your notes app, on your phone, or however you document, journal. I feel like it is such a tranquil thing that people do not give enough respect to. But I literally got out a sheet of paper in my journal and I wrote everything down that I didn't want anymore. Because it can be really hard when you're thinking about who you need to be and what you want and what are the things you need to do and to achieve that. It can be really hard when you've been living in the isolation and the dysfunction because your brain's not even like operating on all four cylinders. But I got out a sheet of paper in my notebook and I said, what do I not want? Well, I knew I didn't want to calculate calories. I knew I didn't want to avoid dinners with people because food felt scary. I knew that I didn't want to exercise when I was exhausted because I was simply exhausted of it. And I didn't want to miss out on life because I would be scared that food would be around. I didn't want to feel guilty all the time. I didn't want to constantly be thinking about my weight and measuring every single thing. And I didn't want to live my life from a place of constant negotiation. And that list, sis, became my roadmap. Because when you've been disordered for so long, sometimes you need to define what you're moving away from in order to see where you're headed, because it can get really jaded and dark and cloudy. Research from Stanford psychologist, Dr. Elia Crum, she studied when people adopt a new identity, their behaviors automatically align with that identity, even before they consciously choose different actions. Isn't that wild? So if your current identity might be, I'm the woman who struggles with food, or I'm the one that has to control everything, or I'm broken, or I'm never enough, or I'm the skinny friend, whatever that identity is for you currently, in order to change your life from settling in the starving state, your recovery identity has to be something that you constantly keep front of mind. I'm the woman who trusts herself around food. I'm the woman who trusts her body. I'm someone who nourishes herself well. I'm healing and I'm whole and I'm okay and I'm safe. You see, the magic happens when you start being her right now. Not when you feel recovered, but right now. I know this is scary. I've sat where you are. Eating without restriction, it feels scary. It feels like you are going to hide in the closet with a peanut butter jar. Resting feels scary. It feels like you're going to melt away and all of the muscles and everything you've worked so hard to achieve is just simply going to vanish. Trusting your body, sis, it feels like jumping off a cliff. But let me ask you something. What is scarier? Changing or staying exactly where you are for the rest of your life? For me, gaining weight was scary, but losing more time, more years, more moments was scarier. The unknown of recovery was scary, but the known misery of staying trapped forever was scarier. You're already living your worst case scenario. Did you know that? It's like we think that it's going to get so much harder than where we are. And so we rationalize and we negotiate and we say, at least is the devil I know. Sis, you're already living your nightmare. Recovery is the way out, not the thing to be scared of, not the thing to be fearful of. So here's what I want you to do. Step 1, get clear on who you are. This is the recovered best version of you. How does she show up? What does she believe? How does she treat herself? What are the things she says? What are her values? Step 2, I want you to make one decision from your recovered identity. What would the version the version that never even knew an eating disorder lived inside of your mind, do right now? What would she do? And then do it. Remember, you have to do in order to have what it is that you want, not the other way around. Step 3, I want you to stop negotiating. You don't debate whether to eat lunch because the recovered you doesn't debate whether to eat lunch. You don't calculate in your mind if you've earned rest because the recovered you, she doesn't have to earn rest. She just lives. Start doing that and stop negotiating. And lastly, step number 4, I want you to expect discomfort because your old identity is going to fight like HE double hockey sticks. That is so normal. That eating disorder voice is going to try to take you out. Keep being her anyway, your best recovered self. Here's the reality. You are not meant to live a starved life. You are not meant to be starving. And when I say that and you go, well, I'm not hungry, I'm not starving, that is the Ed brain. I'm talking about starved of food, starved of joy, starved of presence and full experience of being a human on this planet. That list that I wrote of everything I didn't want, it became my freedom guide because it was everything I refused to settle for. Sis, what are you refusing to settle for? Because settling for starving physically, emotionally, mentally, it's not recovery. It's not even living. It's barely surviving, much less anything else. And you deserve so much more than that. If you're ready to stop starving for your current life and even your old life and start being the woman who has what you want, I'm accepting new clients right now, and I would love to partner with you for summer. Personalized support is what you need, friend, if you want to get from A to B. And what's better than to work with somebody who's been there and done that? We are going to work together to help you embody the identity of the woman who's free before you feel ready, when you're scared, and even when it feels like you can't go another day until it becomes who you are. Here's the truth. You don't have to wait to have freedom to start being free. Did you know that? You can start operating as free today, right now in this moment. You can start operating as somebody who trusts herself and who nourishes herself and somebody who's okay and somebody who goes, you know what? This isn't someone I'm becoming later. This is someone that I'm embracing and learning how to be now. This is acceptance. So stop starving for your old life, who is just crumbs of all you are capable of. This is your summer of transformation, sis. And it starts the moment that you decide to be her now. So I'm going to end with this. I hope this has given you a little taste about what we do together one-on-one. But the Be Do Have formula, it isn't just a theory. It is the path to everything that you want that is outside of what you currently have. You have to be the woman who's free. Do what she does today in order to have the life of freedom. Your old identity got you here, sis, but your new one is going to get you out. The question is, who are you going to be today? I love you, friend, and I hope that this message went right to your heart and has you sitting with some of that reflection, has you writing down and taking those steps. Who do I need to be in order to become free? And if there were no restraints, whether it be financial, whether it be mental, physical, whatever the restraints, what would I do right now? I call this the open horizon. Think about if there were no limitations, what would you do right now to change your current reality? I love you, sis, and I hope that you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you real soon for another episode of the Her Best Self podcast. Hey girl, before you go, if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, like I mentioned in today's show, then go on out to herbestself.co and fill out a client application. I can't wait to meet you, get to know you, and support you on your journey to freedom. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.